Okay. Hi, hello to anyone happen to be here. I kinda overslept. Okay, so set up. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's continue where we last left off. Well, I'm just so like I'm gonna fumble things a lot. I can't load. Okay. Okay. But yeah, back to doing godly stuff. I'm gonna really need hard time to remember this. Okay. Everything seems to be working. Furthermore, really hope he has been paining my ass. So hopefully stream isn't gonna be muted. Okay, so anyways, Silver guide us through the quiet, sleep-filled village. Once stirred behind those closed doors. One peeked out between the shutters by now. One must be sound asleep. What's he like, your leader?
He's kind-hearted, but don't think that makes him soft. He's tough, both mentally and physically. His answer will be no different than mine.
I'm sure between them, they'll be able to convince him.
You shouldn't give him false hope like that.
I believe in them. Is that so bad?
Lawyer offered no argument in return, but suddenly stopped in her tracks.
Stay here. I'll let him know we have visitors.
Disappeared into a small house. A murmuring of voices could be heard inside, but I couldn't tell what they were saying. They appeared to Morwen's arms.
What are you doing?
They complete their case by themselves. I need to talk to you.
Oh my god, dog. What? Dog just randomly burst in my room. Okay. Anyways. And he's back. Oh my god. Why do you need the door wide open, Leo? Okay. Not sure if anyone else's pet can be annoying. Okay, anyways.
Fine. Rain, good luck.
A few moments after they disappeared around a corner, the door to the small house opened once again. I feel my heart beating in my throat. All rights on convincing this guy. You do it, right? Hopefully I don't actually have to do any convincing, because I'm gonna fuck off. Please let it just be automatic. Step then two, and finally he came into view. You're the one in charge? That's not what I thought I was expecting. Okay. It being night makes me think like this is hard to see, but that's some. I feel bad saying that, but like there's like bad lighting, I feel. Some man with white shoulders and a serious expression on his face put the door behind him and looked down at me with a frown. Surrounded by air strength of fierceness and authority, spiky, flame-colored hair stood out even in the darkness. Eyes passed over all of us. Before going wide instantly, the fierceness left its features, and in its place, the warmth that was previously missing.
Varys.
Where you stand out so much for how dark the setting is.
Elliot?
Oh, it's Elliot? Okay.
I thought you were dead.
I thought the same of you. Dear friend, it's been far too long.
Okay, hopefully this means we'll have easy convincing because we have Varys. Varys stopped for stopped? Huh? What? Varys stepped forward, a rare look of complete happiness on his face. Usually so calm, so composed.
If I'd known it was you, I would have hurried to greet you. What are you doing here?
I'm afraid this isn't a social visit. We need your help, and the situation is looking dire. Firstly, let me introduce you to everyone. Meet Elliot the Brave, the god of war, and a dear friend of mine.
This is the God of War? He
Known
seems
each
so
other for as
nice
long
for
as
someone
I
who's the
can
God of
remember.
War.
But we lost track of one another around 100 years ago.
Elliot? As in the Godslayer, Elliot?
You're familiar with my legend, then?
I am, but weren't you on Sid Kayam's side? Fighting against the gods?
Funny how life works out, isn't it? You've got an interesting party, Varys. Unless I'm seeing things. Hey,
There is no hiding anything from you. This is Ilren, my lifelong companion, and that's Fawn. And we have Caspian, Crown Prince of Aurelia Cavilla.
Hello there.
They're really awkward.
Lastly, this is Rain and Emil. They're, well,
divine speakers.
Varys nodded in response and his eyes narrowed.
I know that at this point you must find it hard to trust them, but I wouldn't bring humans here if I didn't have faith in them.
Side and conversation grinded to a halt. His eyes finally left Varys. He looked into my face.
If you understand that, then you shouldn't have brought them here in the first place. Seeing as you went against your better judgment, though, I assume you're in some kind of trouble?
I wish I could say we weren't. Rain?
Oh. I'm sure you already know about the gods trapped in Aurelia Cavella.
It's ever present in my mind.
I came from Aurelia Cavella. It was my home for 18 years. I had to leave, and a lot has happened since then. But none of that is important right now. A god is broken free from Aurelia Cavella, and his power threatens all of Vitus. He's taken a body in Sid Kayam, and he intends to make everyone bow to his will. He calls himself the god of all gods.
He's too powerful to be called a mere god or demon anymore. I've never met anyone with so much raw energy surrounding them.
We couldn't possibly defeat him alone, you see.
Varys, tell me you didn't come all this way to waste my time.
He speaks the truth. He's a danger to not only humans, but all of us as well.
It's not our battle to fight. We've long since given up on protecting humans.
I feel like they're missing the point of all this.
It is your battle to fight! He's a god, a former speaker, and someone who will not only eliminate any that stand in his way, but he'll keep the rest of the O-Gods trapped inside of Aurelia Cavella where they can't go against him! Do you think you'll fall under his radar? When he learns you're out here, he won't let you go on like this.
If we can get rid of him, then the Aurelian gods will finally be let free. Isn't that what you want?
Saladin crossed his arms tighter over his chest. Visibly, you could tell that he's thinking hard at that.
Please, Elliot. We're begging for your support. Without it, we have no chance at winning.
Like, what reason could they have for just choosing not intervene?
I want to help you. I do. But it's not so easy. The others won't be convinced with mere words. They've cut all ties to humanity, and a threat to a human city means nothing to them.
Oh my god. I feel like the whole point of us telling them that he's a danger to everyone isn't going through to anyone.
We look out for ourselves, first and foremost. How many would die in battle against someone with so much power? Most of the gods here are not so different to humans. They're peaceful, simple. They aren't made for war.
The god of war turning down an opportunity like this?
I'm not the god of war by choice.
But you could make the choice to use it for the greater good.
I don't believe in the greater good. Who's to say your good is greater than those in the village?
There's really nothing we can say to convince you?
You can stay here the night. That's the most I can offer.
Elliot,
Morwen, show them to where they can sleep. I'll be back tomorrow.
Morwen nodded to Elliot, who turned and skulked off into the night.
by the looks on your faces, I assume it didn't go well.
He won't help.
Don't think too badly of him. He's a good person, but the weight of everyone's lives is heavy on his mind. He's always been stubborn. Stubborn, but not unfair.
Perhaps a good night's sleep will help to clear your mind.
Maybe.
Come, follow me. Rain, wait there for a moment.
Suddenly I was alone. Morn guided the rest to the various rooms to rest for the night. I stood in the street, eyeing the mountains. The breeze was colder than ever. Once again, I thanked the ash in my mind for the warmth my clothes brought to me. Zion Leos, stay safe, please. I'll do whatever I can to save you.
Hello, Rain.
You surprised me.
You were completely zoned out. A lot on your mind?
Zion and Leos, I'm worried about them.
As am I.
I can't say I'm exactly full of confidence if even the goddess of water is worried.
It's a fancy title for a not-so-important person, I promise. I was little more than a laundry girl in my lifetime.
So weird hearing that it's just all these people. I forget, because I think there was some other game or some other universe that basically depicted normal, average, everyday people somehow becoming gods for whatever one reason or another. I don't remember what it was. It was what sounding like these gods are really no more than actual normal people.
It was different then.
The second life.
The towns and villages I knew have long since been forgotten.
How long ago did you become a god?
I don't know anymore, Rain.
It sounds hard. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
What part?
Struggling in a world that's forgotten you. Watching people around you die while you live forever.
It's harder now than ever. When we were a part of the heavens, it wasn't so much of a big deal.
Because you were surrounded by your own kind, right?
Exactly. Many have had no choice but to blend in with human society. We've become so tightly interwoven that the pain of living forever is much more apparent than before.
Like you'll run in Varus.
Lauren smiled at me sadly.
It's been a long time since I've seen a case like that. They both mean the world to each other. In fact, I'd say they mean even more than that. It just makes it all the more painful in the long run. Varus has seen people die around him for hundreds of years.
Varus plans to pass on after the Aurelian gods are freed.
It's tough.
May I ask you some questions?
Of course you can.
Okay, time to get a bunch of info.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Lucius?
I'd like to think I know him well enough. When he was speaker and Emil was just a babe, we talked on many occasions. He's the type of person that lives in the shadows and only acts once he's sure he can win. It was the same when he killed the royal family. He plotted it for years. His only regret was that Caspian got away.
Why would Emil trust him so much if he was evil from the start? He drove the wedge between my father and him, right?
Saying my father still sounded weird and unnatural.
Lucius was his mentor and father figure. It was hard for Emil to imagine him doing wrong. When you're brought up like a speaker, it must be awfully lonely.
How so?
You don't know?
I mean, kind of raised in an orphanage. If that wasn't something that she witnessed? My head in response to her surprised tone.
They're taken from their parents at birth, forbidden to know so much as their names.
Why?
It's tradition. The way it's always been. Speakers also have a habit of being born around the same time as princes, so it's always made sense that they should be raised together. If they're to rule together, they must know each other better than they know themselves. Lucius, he used their relationship to his advantage. He's a snake of a man.
Will we be able to beat him?
I don't know.
Were Emil and Caspian like before? Oh boy.
Were Emil and Caspian much different when they were younger?
Emil and Caspian? Oh, completely different.
Oh, are we gonna get some embarrassing stories?
Will you tell me about them?
Well, Emil was much more reserved and quiet, but he also had quite a fiery temper. Most people would have called him shy, except for Caspian, who knew him well. He was a good kid, hardworking and kind. It was too much for him, though. I could tell he wanted to grow up as a normal child with a normal family.
What about Caspian?
He was like the sun, warm and bright, full of energy.
Oh, I see.
He was confident beyond measure, and he had a strong sense of adventure.
Okay, so Emil is like the moon and Caspian's like the sun. Ah, I get it now. Okay.
A natural-born leader. When he spoke, people listened. Emil admired that greatly.
They're both so different.
That's what time does to you. They had time to be bitter, so their emotions boiled inside of them, with nowhere to go.
You think they'll be able to make up?
I hope so. Both of them deserve it. But who knows? It's not an easy thing to forgive someone. What about you? Do you forgive Emil or Caspian?
I think so. Caspian... No, my father. Had he known I was alive, I'm sure he would have come back for me, right?
He even could, given the fact that Relicville is like hidden by some sort of magical barrier or something. Or not a response, listen close, because we still don't know how Relicville is even being hidden in the first place.
And Emil... He's a victim of circumstance himself. Sure, he could have ignored the voice that was screaming at him to have me killed, but after so many years full of anger, am I even sure I'd do any different?
I like that about you, Rain. You're so positive, so forgiving. It's a great strength, as long as you make sure not to let anyone walk over you.
Do you know much about Ilran?
Do you know anything about Ilron?
I feel like I should be asking you that. I can't say I know anything, but I'm deeply curious.
Oh, okay, so it's not, so I wasn't keeping an eye on Ilran. Because, yeah, I just remember, because he did mention he was part of Relicville, so.
Apparently he came from Aurelia Cavella as a kid. He works as a bounty hunter now, as far as I'm aware. I guess somewhere along the way he met Varys, and they've been traveling together ever since.
They have a strange relationship. It's nice. They're both so different from each other. Differing personalities, differing backgrounds, differing lifespans. Yet,
Well, as they say, opposites attract.
they're as close as can be. I envy that.
Varys seems good for Elrond.
Ilran for Varys, too, by the looks of it. They give each other something that they've never had before.
God, they better not die before this is all resolved, I swear. The one relationship I'm hoping goes well.
Will you tell me more about when you were human?
You want to know more about me?
Please?
Well, I came from a small village on the coast to the south of Vidus. It was called Mirefall. It's long since been wiped from both memory and map. I grew up as the daughter of farmers, and I mostly did odd jobs around the village. You're probably wondering how a simple person like me ascended, right?
I was wondering about that, but I thought it might be rude to ask.
Nonsense. I said I'd share anything with you. A great illness passed through my village, and many people died. Our elders told us that the gods had forsaken us, that this was a curse sent from the heavens for our sins.
She twirled some of her hair between her fingers, looking up into the star-filled sky.
I was in no position to argue with them. I was just the laundry girl. But one day, as I went to the river to wash the clothes, I noticed that something about the water seemed wrong. It sounds silly, doesn't it? It should be common knowledge that bad water can make you sick. But it wasn't known back then.
Oh, so that's... Oh, huh. This is still very fancy worlds, but like all for sex toys. But like, okay, so it's that long ago of an idea. A mess and all that still isn't all that well known and how to do properly. This really must have been a long time ago.
The elders wouldn't listen to my findings, so I took it into my own hands. I came back with the knowledge of how to purify water, and lo and behold, the sickness stopped.
You must have been thought of as a hero.
From most of the village, yes.
For most.
Most of it?
Thank you, Rain.
The elders shunned me at first, embarrassed that a simple girl like me could solve the issue, while they sat around twiddling their thumbs. The shunning became outright anger, though.
I'm so sorry.
A few months later, I was washing the village's clothes down by the river, as I always do. It was running wildly, angrily. Someone pushed me, and I drowned. That was the end of my story, yet here I am today.
Huh. So, with enough approval of enough people, and you get ascended after death? That seems so messed up of a way to ascend to godhood.
Don't worry, it was a long time ago now. I'm not upset about it.
I'm so angry.
Thank you, Rain.
Simple laundry girl?
That's enough from me, isn't it?
So
There's
emotionally
something I'd ask of
sad.
you instead.
God, what a way to just become a... That's... Okay, so becoming a god really doesn't sound all that great to become.
What is it?
I want to know more about Fawn. About Fawn? Well, let's see. He's really important to me. It'd be better for him. He shows well. He's a good, kind boy. He's flushed, but I continue talking. About him, there's something I'm worried about. Oh, we're gonna talk about his firepower. Is he a god? And or demon, whatever the fuck that actually is. Like this, we fell asleep. Alright, just knocked. Go in, act natural and be casual about it. No big deal, right? I'm paced back and forth outside of Varys' door, uncharacteristically. If it were anyone else, he would have just barged in, but something was making him feel nervous. Tried to push that something out of his mind, but he knew all too well what it was.
Hilron, you'll wake everyone up if you keep pacing around like that.
The door swung open and Varys stood in the doorway.
I'm not pacing. I'm just thinking.
While stomping back and forth outside of my door. Why don't you come in?
Inviting me inside in the middle of the night? My, how shameless. What will people say?
We spend most nights together, Ilron. People can say whatever they wish. It doesn't bother me.
Pushed the door open further and Elrond followed in behind me. So we're gonna get to know more about them or something? Man, I'm curious how this would have played out if we didn't have him. I'd imagine Varys would be just nervous or something. It was remarkably similar to his own. To Elrond's surprise, Varys sat down on the edge of his bed. Smiled calmly, happy to be in Elrond's presence.
Did you need to ask me something?
Well, nothing in particular. I just thought we could chat for a little while. I was wondering how long you've known Elliot for. I've never heard you mention him.
A couple of 100 years or so. We met in Sidcaeum a while after he ascended and subsequently took a mortal body. He was the only other god I'd ever met, so we became fast friends. I'm happy to see him alive. He disappeared and I thought...
This seems like a nice enough place. No wonder he came here.
Yes, it seems nice enough.
Peaceful, too.
What are you getting at?
A nice, simple village life could be refreshing. Sure, it's not quite as adrenaline pumping as bounty hunting, but it's an honest living. I was just thinking. It's been so long since you last saw Elliot, and I'm sure there's plenty of other friendly gods in the village too. You could, you know, live here, stay safe, be surrounded by your own kind.
Ilron.
Your parents were farmers, right? You could take up the trade.
I mean, isn't he blind? So, wait, no, 'cause he's been blind for ages now. Never mind. Actually, never mind. He can still do farm work, I guess. Never mind. Yeah, I was saying. Somehow, for someone, I wonder how blind he is exactly. If he's been able to go through most things fine. I guess this is a situation. It's probably like just blind as in things are just blurry-ish. Kind of like, that's the only thing I guess of how blind he is. Never really thought about it till now.
There's no need to move on when you could just stay here.
Smile had fallen from Varus's face long ago.
Perhaps I could even visit, you know? Or you could visit me.
Ilron, please listen to me. Every day since we met has been a blessing. Even if it meant going through all the hardships in the years before that, I would do it all again. I'm the luckiest person in the world to have someone by my side that makes it hurt so badly to say goodbye.
Don't you see? We can keep going like that. It doesn't have to end.
It can't last forever.
Why not? Even when I'm an old man on my deathbed, I want you by my side.
An old man on his deathbed, and next to him someone that will have to grieve forever.
Then I'll tear the world apart. Make everyone hate me so badly that whoever the fuck is sitting up there in the sky, making decisions, lets me become like you. Why won't you listen? You'd be comfortable here. Happy.
That's so heartbreaking. It's not even them dying yet.
If not here, then in Sid Kaim with me. If you're sick of bounty hunting, we'll stop.
Ilron.
What can I say that will convince you?
Ilron. Will you kiss me?
What?
Will you kiss me?
Yes! Around to wait to be asked again. First kiss, their last kiss. Don't tell me that, game. I just want them to be happy forever. Come on. You can hear a cascade around him, so he leant down and kissed Varus. First kiss, Elrond had imagined it for years, but never expected it to actually happen. He'd be enough by his side, watching on. Felt even better than he ever could have thought. Hands still connecting ever so gently, Elrond held on to the person who meant most to him. The person who'd given up anything for. It was delicate and sweet, mixed with passion and longing. Moonlight drifting in the window illuminated their figures, outlining them in a cool light. Varus reached up and ran his fingertips down Elrond's chest, shivered in response. Varus faced gently and couldn't shake off the feeling that it was all a dream. Varus would disappear as soon as he opened his eyes. Then, really, someone interrupting?
What is it?
That sounded very much a tone of, whoops. Two jumped apart, hearts pounding harder than ever before. Elrond rubbed the back of his head and looked away awkwardly, trying to find something to say. Can't skip this. Sound of crackling fire drifted through the thick woods as two men sat huddled close next to the roaring flames. Elrond threw a couple more sticks in and it roared with delight. It was only a couple months after the two had started traveling together. Varys the god and Elrond the bounty hunter. They had a rocky start, but over time, I found that they had quite a lot in common. Since then, not along well.
Another night sleeping outside. It's sad how I'm starting to get used to it.
And what reason are we getting in the moment of the past?
Perhaps we should invest in a wagon.
It's extra weight to drag around in the end.
Elrond poked at the fire with a long, thin stick, lost in thought.
You know, you're still somewhat of a mystery to me. We've been together for months now, and you've never said a word about yourself.
You've never asked. If you want to know anything, I'll tell you.
I'm just a little curious about your upbringing.
There's not much to say. I was brought up as a human. I didn't feel any different or special. I lived in the country, in a small village.
Oh, what were your parents like?
They were kind and full of love. I couldn't have wished for anyone else.
What about, you know, your actual parents?
My actual parents?
In your first life?
You know I was a bird in my mortal life, right?
What? A bird? Really?
Most of the other gods lived as humans, so I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that you didn't know.
So, okay, that explains why he has bird form. So that's the actual form. Wait, so how does an animal ascend to a god then? I imagine it still requires some sort of death, but how does a bird remotely gain people's worship?
What's that like?
Aaron lay down with his arms behind his head, looking up into the star-filled sky. Yours is the same.
Freeing. I didn't worry as I do now. I could fly wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted.
Well, birds still have parents, right?
I suppose you're right. They were very important to me too. What about you? You don't have to answer if it makes you uncomfortable.
No. It's only fair. You answered my questions after all. My mother was the best woman to ever walk this planet. She was strong-willed, even stubborn at times, but so full of compassion.
Was?
Oh, she died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
To the end of her days, she prayed. As she got sicker and sicker, she kept going. She didn't pray for herself, though. She prayed for me.
I'm going to assume the father was in the picture.
I was stupid. Naive. I thought she was being totally unreasonable. I laughed at her and her beliefs. I thought, what good is praying if they just let you get this sick?
So that's why you said those things when we first met.
I'm sorry, I was angry. I wanted it to be anyone else's fault, but it was mine. I wasted her last moments being bitter.
Gentle weight fell onto Elrond's chest. When he looked down, he saw a chair. He just wrapped his arm around Elrond and squeezed lightly.
It's not your fault, Elron.
Freeman realized that eyes had watered over and tears were running down his face.
She deserved a better son than me. I miss her, Varys. I miss her so much.
You're a good person, Elron. I'm sure your mom is still watching out for you from somewhere. And she's proud.
His head against Elrond's chest, Varys hummed a quiet tune. He closed his eyes, listening to Varys' slow song, and wrapped his arms around Varys in return. Two spent the rest of the night like this, in a calming embrace. I love him. I've loved him for a very long time. And a while ago, you weren't saying you guys weren't a thing.
I should go. Sounds like you've got a visitor anyway.
Elron.
Before he could hear what Varys had to say, Elrond was at the door, and to Elliot, who looked surprised to see him. Didn't stay around long enough to chat. Varys sat alone in his room, his fingers lingering over his lips. Touched them, not sure what had just happened. Just as he was stopping to process everything that just happened, Elliot pushed open his door and joined him.
Varys, it's good to see you.
Varys calmed his breath and tried to put on a serious expression. Didn't believe he could fool Elliot, but wanted to maintain some sense of dignity.
It's been far too long. What
Okay,
brings
now-
you here?
Now that we're not in the dark night sky, it feels more normal to look at him. Most of his features felt so hidden in the night.
I'm not allowed to want a simple chat with a dear friend.
Simple chats don't usually end up being simple, after all.
I'll always have time for you. I don't suppose you've come to tell me you've changed your mind about helping us.
Made his way into the room, pulled up a chair facing Varys.
No, I don't suppose so.
You haven't changed then. It's always been difficult to sway you once you've made your decision.
It's not that I don't want to help. I do. But so many lives depend on me, on the judgment I make. If I lead them into Sid Kaum, they'll die.
And if you don't help, they'll die eventually anyways, after being found out. Just how many of them will escape and live, though?
I can't promise any different.
Why would you put yourself on the line for these people? Those speakers.
I know you fought against them in your lifetime, Elliot, but they're not bad people.
I fought against them because I was told to. I stayed loyal to the crown because I thought it was right. I was wrong about the gods, and I regret the harm I caused them.
So ironic that Svi fought against the gods to become one himself. Oh, the irony in having that occur, right?
The speakers, though, I don't regret it. Not even the slightest. Their history is filled with betrayal and murder.
Rain isn't like that, you know. He's got a good heart.
Perfect for corrupting, then.
I won't try to convince you, but I hope at the very least, you'll trust my judgment this one time.
I didn't come here to argue anyway. I came here to catch up. I'm curious as to how you came to travel with a human companion. That's unlike you.
Ilron? I'm not sure where to start. We didn't meet on friendly terms, but he was the one that helped me to find my way. If not for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Elliot's face morphed in surprise.
You were in love with him.
What?
Oh, is that obvious?
Varys, god of the harvest, in love with a mortal. I never thought I'd see the day.
I think I've liked him for a very long time.
You know it could never work out, right?
I don't intend to ever act upon it. I wouldn't dare
Do
to steal a
you
future
just
away
kissed
from
him not that long ago?
To love someone and grow old together, that's his right. I can't give it to him.
But you did take his kiss.
Gods mingling
Supposedly
with
this
humans
first
only leads to
and
heartbreak.
will be the
It'd
last.
be best for you to distance yourself from him. Then again, who am I to tell you what to do? Sometimes what is best isn't the right thing to do either.
Thank you, Elliot. I appreciate your honesty.
And what do you intend to do after this, if you survive?
I'll free the Aurelian gods, first and foremost. And then...
There will always be a place for you here.
Eric shook his head, a sad smile playing on his lips.
And then it's time for me to pass on, my friend. My duty will be done.
An admirable goal. If you ever change your mind, then I'll be expecting you.
Oh, please change your mind. Please. Like, can't he just pass on after Elrond dies? Of old age, please? Can that just be a thing? Little knocks sounded through the night, echoing through the empty streets of the village. Perhaps even calling them streets was an overstatement, but that didn't matter to Morwen. Reminds me of home, of quiet nights spent lying in the field, watching the stars, the smell of my mother's cooking. It wasn't Morwen's home. Morwen's home was a memory of the distant past, of a time that few left in the world could remember. that made this village all the more heartbreaking for her. Then why does having her by my side make me feel so comfortable? That thought in her mind, the door she just knocked open wide. In its place stood a woman with black and red hair, a large cloak that hid part of her body. Lauren, why are you doing up so late? Sorry to come so late. I hope I didn't wake you. I was just talking to Rain. I want to thank you. I wasn't asleep anyway. You know you don't need to thank me. I do. You saved my life. You brought my children back to me. Sylvia, whose face was usually a mask that no one could see beneath, twitched if you look closely. You may even be able to say that there was a slight pink to her cheeks. That was the least I could do. Any would do less. They brought themselves here. Rin said came watching them these past days, weren't you? Oh, come on. Oh my god, what's going on? I need to know. Does stream stop entirely? No, it's still. Okay, I need to see how far back can I go. uh, uh, may even be able to say that there was came these past days, weren't you? Wait. Rin said came watching them these. Okay, I gotta redo that part. Ah! I don't know what happened. I was unaware stream fucking crashed. Ah! Okay, well, I saved. That's not that much. Let me load that. Skippity skip.
Is there... We're immune...
Why did stream have to crash?
Do you know...
It was such a good moment. Fine, I'll reread everything. I was gonna end, but whatever. How'd you know? Like, yes. Truly, I'm very lucky to have met you. Did you come here just to flirt? Flirt? That's not what we're doing here. I just want to express my gratitude. Maybe that's how they did in the olden days, but I call turning up to a woman's room in the middle of the night flirting. Well, also hopefully actually is like someone saying, it's all for nothing. We'll see. I've been here for an hour 45 minutes. This hour, I'm not sure. I'm confused. I'll get this over again. So if this somehow like me repeating, whoopsies. I can't tell because stream crashed right now. So ha, all the shit I said. Fuck. Oh my god, why is Obi such a freak on me? Anyways, messing with you. You wanna come in? You shouldn't stand out in the snow. Now, who's the one flirting? Vera shrugged, small smile tugged at the corner of her lips. Never disputed it. With that, she turned and went back into her room. Her room very similar to every other house in the secret village. Morwen followed behind. The shower in cheeks was impossible to hide, but she still tried. The room was dimly lit, with only a lantern's light sprawling out over the furniture. For the record, I'm not from the olden days. Oh yeah? How many hundreds of years ago were you born? The olden days. Fine, I'm very old, and you're quite young, right? That's right. I'm not all that much older than I look. Vera, why did you help me? Help them? Suppose you would have to ask eventually. Loyal to Elliot, yet you led me here knowing you would agree with them. Let Raina's companions enter, knowing that you could be in trouble for it. Why? there's not some big important reason I want to help you, so I did. Fine. It's not like the others here. I'm not like the others here. Life was full of adventure. Wherever the wind went, so did I. If I want to find out what lay at the top of a distant peak, I'd go and find out. In the end, I died for what I believed in. I regret that. The thing I regret is the chances I didn't take, the people I never met. Family I left behind to travel the world. I was alone. At the time it didn't matter. All that mattered was me, the world, and my maps. After I died, there to mourn me. Slavir. I see a person that, in my lifetime, I would have avoided completely. Something about that makes me want to help you. Maybe it's jealousy. You have people around you, even long after your death. And you try to help them makes me want to help them. Slavir, you have people around you too. I'm here for you. Maybe you're right. I haven't given up on humanity like everyone else. You intend to go with them, then I'll come with you too. What you're trying to say is you've secretly taken a liking to them, haven't you? Sylvia shrugged, the unusual expression returning to her face. Who knows? Unconsciously, Sylvia reached up and touched the spot where her arm was long ago. Wait, her arm was long. Wait. Had she been missing an arm this whole time? Reached up to the spot where her arm was long. I had assumed her arm was just a visual art style, just having the arm hidden behind her. I didn't realize it was gone. Huh. Everyone has to give up something. I know what it's like to lose something so important to you for the sake of others. I like to think that helping them makes it worth it. What will you do after? After? You'll be a free woman for the first time. Well, let's not bring up your age again. I haven't really thought that far ahead. Perhaps I'll take a leaf from your book. Travel. I'd like to see where my home used to be. If you need a guide, you know where I'll be. Leave the village? I owe Elliot dead. I'll probably never be able to repay. I think living the rest of my life to the fullest would be enough for him. Orwin Sawyer, the famed cartographer and her assistant? It doesn't sound so bad, does it? No, it doesn't. Anyway, I shouldn't keep you up any longer. I wouldn't mind. Taken by surprise, Orwin laughed before resting her hand against the door. You always surprise me, Sylvia. I like that. Final words spoken, she opened the door and stepped down the frosty night, leaving Sylvia hanging on her words. Okay, now I'll end it. Hopefully I don't repeat everything and streams. Haven't had that in here for a while on YouTube. About to happen. Okay, so anyways, yeah, getting into here. Seems like I got no time. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully it's been fun watching in some weird way. Yeah, hopefully I won't fuck up again. No guaranteed. Might happen again. We'll see. So sometime next week though, I'll do this again. So I think I watched the bye. I just said that already. Ha! Yeah, bring up and seriously done. Okay, anyways, bye.